Greetings all, I'm Bill Vencil, this is Chords of Orion, and you're listening to the Mod Devices Mod Dwarf. It's the latest in a trio of devices from Mod Devices, and it's a really interesting machine. It combines the ability to create multi-effects pedal boards along with MIDI-controlled synthesizers and a lot of other stuff. So the first thing to mention are the ins and outs, and as you would expect, we have stereo in, stereo out, mini MIDI jacks in, and USB. The top of the Mod Dwarf is clean and simple. There are 3 foot switches, there's an LCD screen along with a master control button, and then there are 3 knobs along with 3 control buttons under each knob. And pretty much almost everything on this top is assignable for each one of the patches that you may want to put together. The things you might be thinking is, with such a small device, how am I going to create complex pedalboard and MIDI instrument patches? Well, there is a solution for that, and that is that the Mod Dwarf actually has a built-in website. So if you connect it to your computer via USB, you can pull up the website and see every patch, or what they call pedal boards. So this is a patch that we're going to look at today, and it's got a lot of things going on here. So on the left hand, as you'll see, there's a couple of plug-like things, and those represent the inputs. There's another input down here, which is actually a MIDI in input. So if you're going to hook up a MIDI keyboard or a guitar synthesizer or something like that, you've got that there. All the way at the right-hand side of the screen are the outputs. And in between are all the effects that I've got going in this particular patch that I'm going to kind of walk through here very quickly. At the top, again, with these audio inputs, you'll see that we're going through an effects chain of compressor. This is the red, it's a red compressor. We've got a whammy bar, we've got a guitar amp and a guitar cabinet. We've got a gain pedal here in the middle. Guitarics, if you see that, that's actually a delay. We've got a chorus flanger. Doesn't that look a little suspicious? Maybe like a Boss BF2, yeah. And then we've got 3 delay units in parallel, so pretty cool. And the way you link all of these effects together are through the use of cables. They're virtual cables. You just grab them with the mouse and you can hook them right up. And many of the effects allow you to go from mono into stereo. So as you'll see here on the Guitarics, I've got a mono signal coming in, but I've got a stereo signal going out into this mod stereo gain. Now, what about the synthesizer? Well, we've got actually another effects chain. I don't have a MIDI keyboard hooked up, so there's no cable coming from the left-hand side, but what I do have, and you'll see it kind of animated there, is a step sequencer. And you'll see that I've got 8 steps set to a low B, and I'm playing it back at, I think it's 120 BPM. So that's what's going on there. We'll listen to that in a moment. And that heads on into a synthesizer module right here, Nick D's synthesizer module. That goes into a chorus pedal and then into a delay. And then it also goes into this stereo gain effect at the very end. So I can control the overall volume of the entire patch. Now, one of the cool things, well, there's a lot of cool things, but one of the other cool things that I mentioned earlier is that you can assign parameters to the switches and to the knobs. And I've got a couple of parameters assigned. If I go into the step sequencer and click on the little cog here, we can adjust a lot of stuff here. But what I really have set up in this on-off area is switch B, which is the foot switch in the middle, is set to turn my step sequencer on and off. So let me go ahead and press the foot switch in the middle and we'll hear the step sequencer kick in. Oh, there we go. Had to finish the sequence there before it started. Kind of nice, huh? Let me go ahead and stop it. And you can hear a little bit of that delay going. All right, so what if I want to change notes on the sequencer? We're not going to do a whole, lesson on the sequencer, but let me go ahead and add another note. This is an A, and let's go ahead and restart the sequencer here. All right, so we can go ahead and add some other notes in here. All right, so that step sequencer is kind of acting like a MIDI keyboard. All right, that's the overall structure of this pedal board. I don't want to spend a lot of time going through each effect individually, but let me just say before I show you what it sounds like all together, that the guitar signal is, again, going through a compressor to squish it. You'll see this whammy pedal, and this is going to give me a pitch control, and I've got the whammy pedal set so that I can turn it on and off with switch number 3. That's the switch on the right-hand side of the pedal as you're looking at it. The Guitarix delay, let me just show you that real quick, is set to 24 BPM, and it's a half note. So it ends up being a very long delay time, probably about 5 or 6 seconds. And this is going to give me some Frippertronics types of effects. The 3 effects in parallel are all set slightly differently, and so they're just there to create a complex kind of after delay, if you will, just for kind of depth and width of the signal. And as you can see, there's no reverb in this patch, but because I'm using 4 different delays, you end up with a reverb-like kind of feel to the overall patch. All right, so let me flip over to my other camera and let me play you a little bit so you can hear what this patch looks like. Make sure you watch what my feet are doing so you can see me turn the sequencer and the whammy on and off. That is really cool. I could just keep playing that for hours. I really could. But let me show you just a couple of other things real quickly. Obviously, once you've got your pedal board set up, you can save it. There's also a library. So down here at the bottom, you'll see the little pop-up there, pedal board library. And this is where you can store all of your pedal boards that you're creating for the Mod Dwarf. And I should say, remember, this is a website on the pedal itself. So you're not saving any information to your computer. It's all going back to the Mod Dwarf. And there's a really cool plugin store. And there are literally, I didn't count them all, but there are literally dozens and dozens of effects that you can download. Some are free, and as you can see here, some cost money. But there are tons of options. Here's a granulator, and this is a free download. A real-time granulator plays small chunks of audio in the delay time set. I think I'm going to download that one and check it out. There's also an option to share your patches with others on the Mod Devices website. You can simply give it a name, an email address, and give your pedal board a name. And I want to let you know that COO Chords of Orion Pitch 1 I shared it on the Mod Devices website. So if you end up getting a Mod Dwarf or a Mod Duo, look for this patch, download it, and have a play with it. So clearly, I have a lot of exploring to do with the Mod Dwarf. I'm really interested to know what you think about this device. Does it have all the potential that I seem to think it has? Drop a comment below, let me know what you think, and I'll catch all of you on the next video.